Or if your older parents are looking to get back into the dating game, we talk a lot about grandparent scams and how people are losing their money to these horrific human beings who prey on our seniors and steal their money, like literally the scum of the earth. But the other scam that's starting to explode as well right now, romance scams. So if they're not going after your grandparents, they're going after your heart. Is there no end in sight to this evilness? We're going to talk to a matchmaker who has very practical tips on how to protect your heart and your bank account from the bad guys. We will get into that next on Connect with Sarah Crosby, and keep sending me your messages on wind turbines. Are they just the ugliest thing you've ever seen, or can you actually find some... maybe beauty's too far. Can you find some acceptance in what they look like? 403-974-8255.
You can move health research forward. We're all patients of the healthcare system. That's why health research in Canada is for everyone. All we're missing is you. To give your time to health research, visit BeTheCure.ca.
Your life is anything but ordinary.
Han, Gong Gong says the family's visa is approved. All 8 of them are coming to stay.
ATB is defying convention on traditional mortgages for in-law suites, laneway homes, and more. For advice and solutions that help you plan for...
We're going to need more space.
Come talk to the experts at ATB.
Hi, I'm Sue DL, inviting you to join me November 30th through December 8th as we explore tropical Costa Rica with Colette. We'll stay in the Monteverde cloud forest where trees soar to 100 feet tall and the wildlife is everywhere, from butterflies to sloths, breathtaking views in Nature's Museum. We'll visit a coffee plantation and learn the history from bean to cup, plus we'll relax in a resort on the most beautiful beaches of Guanacaste and so much more. Colette covers the details from flights, hotels, included meals and local experiences. Your only job is just to have the time of your life. Meet me and the folks from Colette on March 4th. Space is limited and time is running out to get on board with this trip. Call our friends at Journeys by Escapes at 403-301-0113 or visit journeysbyescapes.ca to learn more or to register for our March 4th meet and greet. Come join me, journeysbyescapes.ca.
Derek Mikowski here for Furnace Family. We're starting 2024 off with the biggest rebate we have ever offered. We are doubling the current Lennox rebate. Yes, doubling up to $3,000 in rebates off a complete Lennox system and Air Miles Reward Miles on every purchase. Still thinking heat pump? The $5,000 federal rebate ends March 31st. Time is running out. Call Furnace Family today to take advantage of these amazing deals. Yes, up to $3,000 off a complete Lennox system. Jingle time.
Done right, day or night, furnacefamily.com.
I'm Linda Olson in the Global Calgary Newsroom. It's important for us to be the voice of the community. That's why the Global News team is committed to reporting on the people and places that impact Calgarians most. Join me tonight on Global News Hour at 6.
Hi, I'm Patricia with Boest Appliance. We're Calgary's largest supplier of new scratch and dent, open box, and overstock appliances. Yes, scratch and dent can look this good. You'll find top name brands such as Miele, KitchenAid, LG, and more, with prices you won't find anywhere else. Stop by and see what's new. We have something for every budget. Looking for more than one appliance? Save big with a package deal. And for even bigger savings, ask for your Patricia Special today. Visit boestappliance.ca.
Hey Calgary, it's your favorite arborist here, Jean with... Sorry, I had a frog in my throat. It's Jean with Let It Grow. I've decided to turn a new leaf and would be happy to personally offer my services to you. Whether you've got ants in your plants, an ailing ash, or a pear to pamper, call or text Let It Grow 587-574-4709, 587-574-GR0W, or visit letitgrowhort.ca.
Is it a streak or is it a heater?
Well, hold it. Do you really hate wind turbines that much or like wind turbines that much?
I just think it's a fascinating discussion that they irritate people so much. Like, people are passionately
Have you ever been to the Netherlands?
No, I've not just jetted over to the Netherlands.
The Netherlands is a much smaller country than Canada, obviously, and there are wind turbines everywhere, and it certainly takes away from a very beautiful country. Now the older ones, the historic ones, they're kind of cool. But the newer ones, not so cool. And the great thing about, I don't think it's the great thing about the Netherlands, but it's one of the bad things about the Netherlands. You could, like, if you have an acreage or a farm, you could put one in your backyard. And, could you imagine having a noisy wind turbine in your backyard?
Okay, watch this, though. Isn't that, like, my freedom to do that?
Yeah, I guess if you really want to put, if you really want to put a wind turbine in your backyard, go for it, Sarah. That's fine.
My backyard is barely big enough for a barbecue. I do not have space for a wind turbine.
I know when I was working at the Olympic Oval doing the sales and marketing, Jacques Thibault was the general manager, and actually we looked at because it was on a university property and institution that he actually looked into getting a wind turbine put up at the Olympic Oval to power the Olympic Oval, and it got poo-pooed. So it didn't happen. But from what I heard too, part of the research, there wasn't enough wind in the city of Calgary really to do it. Now, Lethbridge, those other areas, there is enough wind, but in Calgary itself, not enough.
Well, 2 days ago, my face got wind whipped off, so I would disagree with that.
Well, one day out of 365, Sarah, what are you talking about here? Hey, you know who's blowing a lot of wind right now? The Calgary Flames.
Look at that segue.
It was a terrible one, actually, but I'll take it. Calgary Flames are on a 4-game mini heater, a 4-game winning streak. Feeling pretty good about their game, according to defenseman Erasmus Anderson.
Over the last 4 games, we played some really good teams, and we're just sticking with it. And we don't get too upset if they score, or we don't get too high if we score. We just try to grind away, and if we play like we did last 4 games, we'll be in a good spot. Yeah, I think we just realized that when we play as a team, as a 5-man unit, we're a really tough team to beat, and I think that's sinking in more and more in the group.
Yeah, they are turning into a fun team to watch. They're getting scoring from all lines. They're getting a lot of scoring out of their back end. Defensively, they're a pretty good team. Goaltending is great, but they're still 5 points out of a playoff spot. So they're going to have to continue it for the final, 23 games of the season? It's coming to a close. We're going to see what happens. Hey, quickly, some sad news in the CFL today. Grey Cup champion, former Bomber defensive lineman Craig Rowe lost his battle with cancer, passed away today at the age of 33. He was diagnosed with colon cancer 18 months ago, and today Craig Rowe passes away.
This is Global News. I'm Russell Skeet. It's part of the Cloudy and Zero at 5:30. The Alberta government has laid out new rules to guide future wind and solar development in the province as a 7-month pause comes to an end. The government-imposed moratorium was in response to what's been an explosion of growth in the province's renewable energy in recent years. The Alberta NDP says the UCP government didn't do its homework to fully understand the implications of the policies introduced today. Banff Kananaskis MLA Sarah El Maligi worries the 6-month moratorium on new project approvals was a waste of time.
We waited 6 months and we got 3 main results. Decreased investment in the renewable energy sector, an increased amount of red tape to build renewable energy across Alberta, and I'm worried that that's going to result in increased energy costs at a time when Albertans are really concerned about affordability.
El Maligi also worries the idea of limiting new wind projects with 35-kilometer buffer zones around protected areas and other pristine viewscapes leaves very little room for projects to utilize. The president of the Rural Municipalities of Alberta is pleased that they will have influence when it comes to where future renewable energy projects are built. Paul McLaughlin says they do get a say in the decision-making process.
These are massive industrial projects and, covering kilometers in some cases. So definitely happy with the idea that we do have a voice. We'll have a voice that's entrenched, and we can continue to having these projects moving forward and create some certainty for the folks that I represent as well as landowners and industry. McLaughlin
says he'll be looking for more details on the regulations, including on the protection of agricultural land and on restoration and reclamation. A new survey from Rural Municipalities of Alberta says oil and gas producers missed $43 million in tax payments last year. President Paul McLaughlin says it's time for the Alberta Energy Regulator to do its job and go after that money. McLaughlin tells QR Calgary's Rob Breckenridge the total amount owed to municipalities is at nearly $252 million.
By the time we figure out a company is bankrupt, we employ the special lien, that company's been stripped bare, and ultimately we're left holding the bag to the tune of $250,000. So we've written off $500 million effectively unless the AR starts to move forward on this topic.
McLaughlin says if this continues, there are municipalities that will go bankrupt. Calgary police are taking a deep dive into what needs to be done to tackle racism and build trust in our community today. Members gathered to learn more about the Black experience and community perceptions of law enforcement.
Some hard conversations surrounding racism taking place for Calgary Police Service members. On Wednesday, a panel discussion being held at YouthLink addressing the Black experience in Calgary, perceptions of the Calgary Police Service in the community, and ways to build stronger bridges. Calgary Police Service Inspector Avril Martin says these discussions are necessary to ensure the police service is an inclusive and safe organization. And
it's events like this that are so important to ground ourselves in the work that we're trying to do to move our anti-racism work forward for the Calgary Police Service.
The Calgary Police Service unveiled its Racial Equity Office last year and new internal training in November. Trace Nagai, Global News.
A new state-of-the-art materials recovery facility will begin taking in Calgary's recyclables on Friday. For the last 15 years, Cascades Recovery Plus has been the city's partner, taking in the materials collected in blue bins. Now, GFL Environmental will take on that role with a new plant in Rocky View County. Brent Jesperson with GFL says the company is working on contracts to sell the materials after they've been sorted.
Right now, again, we're in discussions with a few different areas, but we haven't quite nailed down. We're currently, as GFL would, vetting all of our potential end users and making the best choice possible for us.
The plant will use everything from optical sorters to ballistic separators and AI-powered robots. Breaking news when it happens. Our next scheduled news at 6. I'm Russell Skeet.
A new tribe is forming.
I want this so bad.
Survivor. New season tonight at 9 on Global.
I'm about to kill it.
Truman. Building Calgary's best. Visit trumanhomes.com. Live better. Live Truman.
In the southwest, we spotted a collision westbound Highway 8 before the new leg of Stoney Trail. It was blocking the left lane. Looks like it just cleared, but you can expect some light delays as you pass through. Westbound Glenmore Trail also seeing about a 20-minute drive from 18th Street Southeast over to 14th Street Southwest as you face that glare from the setting sun. And there's still a collision in the northeast, westbound on 32nd Avenue before Deerfoot Trail, blocking your right lane. Alberta's largest car and truck show, the Calgary International Auto and Truck Show, is back March 7th to 10th at BMO Centre Stampede Park. Visit autoshowcalgary.com. From the QR Calgary Traffic Helicopter, I'm Phil Jensen.
Thanks, Phil. Let's take a look at the wild weather of the next 3 days. Now, tomorrow is going to seem quite warm, quite balmy during the daytime, high of 8. But as the day rolls on, going to switch from showers to flurries to snow. Friday, high of -7 and snow. And Saturday, -13 is the high, low of -20 and periods of snow. So today is the last dry one of the bunch. And then some sort of stuff, showers, flurries, snow, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So keep that in mind when you're heading out to wherever it is you're going or coming home from. Could be a wet one, could be a slippery, dippery one. We will wait and see what exactly we get. But showers, flurries, and snow all in the forecast over the next 72 hours. Right now at 5:36 on your Wednesday, it's mostly cloudy and 0.
She's sharing the stories that keep you connected to your city, your country, and your world. Now back to Connect with Sarah Crosby on QR Calgary 107.3 FM.
In just a minute, we're going to be joined by Crystal Walter from Crystal Walter Matchmaking, who's going to share really practical tips on how to not get romance scammed if you're looking for love. But first, let's take your second and final look at business. All right, it is Wednesday night. What you doing, what you reading, what you eating. Joining us for your second and final look at business this afternoon is Dave Popowich from the Popowich Carmelli Advisory Group, CIBC Wood Gundy. Tell us the numbers, Dave, and then we will get deeper into some big info.
Yeah, sounds good. The market was a bit shaky again today, although it finished off of its low, so better than, say, if we were having this conversation, at noon. So the TSX down 75 points to finish the trading day, 21,244. The Dow down 23, 38,949. Oil was down 33 cents, 78.54 a barrel. And Canadian dollar down a quarter cent against the U.S. dollar at 73.66.
Okay, explain something to me. Is this like when my son's biology teacher says they get a redo or they can retake their test? What is the revision situation with U.S. GDP? What does that mean?
Yeah, good question. So in the United States, they do it a little differently than us here. They give us a first look at, in this case, fourth quarter gross domestic product or how the economy performed. Then they give us a second revision to see if anything's changed, and then they'll give us a final number. And it's just that the U.S. just provides way more information than, say, we would get out of the Canadian government on the economy itself. So we're at the second revision, for U.S. economic growth in the fourth quarter. And the headline was, sir, that it was the economy or the economic performance was revised down from 3.3% down to 3.2%. So the headline this morning when I was looking at would indicate that the data says it's slowing. But when we look under the hood, I'm not sure that headline tells the full story.
Why is that? Why is that?
Well, it's true that it did slow, yeah. But, if you think about 2/3 of the economy, that comes from people like you and me spending. And if we look at consumer spending, it was actually revised higher from 2.8% to 3%. So the U.S. consumer is still feeling pretty strong. Now, there was some technical stuff in there about inventories. That's what took it down a little bit. But if you look past the consumer and you just look at, say, local and state governments, well, they were spending as well. So I think that there was maybe more strength in that than what the headline told. And there was a bit of excess inflation over what was expected. And those two things likely pressuring the markets a little bit today on the expectation the Fed might hold rates where they are a little bit longer.
I also in life would like to have an opportunity to have 1 to 2 to 3 revisions of things that I just want to take a second looky-loo at. That would be nice.
It would be, wouldn't it?
Okay, and tomorrow is a big day because we're getting some new data from the U.S. inflation.
Yeah, I remember I said it's been a bit of a shaky week. And, there's a lot of, I think, pent-up anxiety around what the inflation number might tell us. This is the PCE, which is the preferred gauge that the U.S. Fed looks at. So a lot riding on this. And I can tell you the expectation is that we're going to see for the month of January a month-over-month increase in the inflation. Now, it's going to be somewhere in the order of 0.4 to 0.5%. And that would be, double or a little bit more of what it was in December. The expectation for core inflation annualized is to stay at 2.9%, same as it was in December. So, Sarah, anything, above or below that probably will be market moving data. So